AOC may have committed an ethical violation for wearing this dress. You remember this dress, the tax the rich dress. Well, she may have committed a violation. This is the story over from Axios. The House rules say you can't just get a bunch of gifts without anybody accounting for them. You remember this one, tax the rich. The House Ethics Committee extended its investigation into AOC on Thursday over allegations that she violated congressional rules by accepting impermissible gifts at the Met Gala. The Office of Congressional Ethics released an 18-page report, which we are going to read through, that states the board found substantial reasons to believe that she accepted impermissible gifts. Ocasio denies violating the House rules, and her office told NBC News that they're confident that it's going to be dismissed. Now, she made headlines back in 2021 where she wore that dress called Tax the Rich on it. And AOC Tax the Rich dress was very, very popular. A lot of images on this one. You may remember some of these. We covered it back when she was there. Here's one image, Tax the Rich. Here's another one, Tax the Rich, as she shows up at one of the most affluent, insanely wealthy, pompous events of all time. Tax the rich right now is kind of the thing. She was super cool. We're going to go in there and I'm going to shove it in their faces. Meanwhile, her assistants, masked up and sort of working hard. So that is what the image looked like. Now, they say a review began after the New York Congress member was provided with a couture dress, handbag, shoes, and jewelry at the New York City event. She got hair, makeup, transportation, and other services. And so she got all of this referred over for ethics violations. Let's see what they say. Here's the report. From the Office of Congressional Ethics, the subject involving Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a United States House of Representatives member. The board of the Office of Congressional Ethics, hereafter called the board, by a vote of no less than 4 members on June 17th, 2022, adopted the following report about AOC. Now, the violation is about the situation at the Met Gala in 2021. Apparently, AOC accepted impermissible gifts, violating House rules. And so the ultimate recommendation in a unanimous vote of 5-0, not even a single dissent, recommends that the committee further review the above allegation because there is substantial reason to believe that she accepted impermissible gifts associated with her attendance at the Met Gala in 2021. Arrest her! Where is Merrick Garland? Now, it was 5-0. Nobody abstained. A bunch of people were on the board. And here's the table of contents. We're going to go through this critical report here. We have to hold Congress accountable. 18 pages long. Introduction, the nature of the gifts. Oh my goodness. Look at all of this stuff. Hair services, makeup services, attire, other services. Oh, I wonder what those were. And transportation. And AOC is going to give us her explanation for her failure to pay. That's going to be rich. Can't wait to see what that is. Here's the rest of the story. On June 17th, the committee, this board, adopted the following violations. And here's the summary. 1. AOC may have accepted impermissible gifts associated with the gala. If she did, then she may have violated the House rules. Now, the board recommends they continue to look into this stuff. They say that we've got jurisdiction because of the rules, and the procedural history is as follows. And so this kind of is reading like a bar complaint almost, right? For that a lawyer would get, or a doctor would get, or any real licensing agency. It's just sort of a licensing agency report, sort of how it's looking like it is being assembled. Summary, jurisdiction, the procedure. So who filed the complaint in the first place is kind of a good question. The OCE received a written request for a preliminary review by at least 2 members of the board, signed on February 18, 2022. It commenced shortly thereafter. The proceedings happened. The report was transmitted to the committee and so on. All right. Now, these are the people that they were asking for statements from. So AOC, They wanted a campaign staffer, Aurora James, other people I don't recognize, the Metro Museum of Art, Met Gala organizer, and a stylist, right? So these are 10 people. A couple people refused to cooperate. Ooh, Aurora James, who is that? Brother Veles and Jana Pia. They refused to cooperate with the OCE's review. So Aurora James is a Canadian creative director and an activist. So it looks like she was probably the one who was, I think, creating the dress, huh? Yeah, I think that's her, right? Aurora James didn't participate. And so I presume that those other people are sort of in the same category. They go through the federal statutes. So we have to ask ourselves if AOC is violating these laws. No member of Congress shall solicit or accept anything of value from a person whose interest may be substantially affected, right? Kind of standard conflict of interest gifting stuff. If you get something of value, you got to declare it, you got to pay for it. Even the House rules say it. It says a member may not accept gifts except as provided by Clause 5. Under Clause 5, gift means a gratuity, a favor, a discount, entertainment, hospitality, or any of these other things. A member may not knowingly accept a gift, may not knowingly accept a gift from a registered lobbyist or an agent of a foreign principal or a private entity. Okay, those are the rules. We'll fast forward through the rules. Now, here's the background. They say, the Met hosts an annual costume benefit gala in order to raise funds for the Institute. It's a collection of more than 33,000 objects representing 7 centuries of fashionable dress and accessories for men, women, and children. The Met Gala provides the Costume Institute with its primary source of annual funding. We also have Condé Nast, which identifies itself as a global media company that produces a bunch of stuff. AOC was invited in 2019, 20, and 21. She couldn't go because of the pandemic. It was canceled. However, she did attend in 2021 along with her partner, Riley Roberts. As discussed more fully below, AOC received a series of goods and services which she did not pay for until the OCE opened this review. She thought she was going to get away with it too, huh? But the OCE busted her. And so they're going to go through it in details for us. In 2021, AOC was invited and did attend the gala. As part of her attendance, she was provided with a couture dress, a handbag, shoes, and jewelry. She received hair, markup, transportation, and ready room services. Riley Roberts, I guess her boyfriend or whatever he calls himself, a person friend, received a bow tie and shoes in advance of the event. Bow tie and shoes. He's in on it too, huh? So while Rep. Ocasio appears to have now finally paid the rental value of the attire she wore, payment for these goods and services did not occur until after we contacted her. But for the opening of this review, it appears that AOC may not have paid for several thousands of dollars worth of goods and services provided to her. Unbelievable. AOC trying to get away with free goodies, typical from Congress. And on April 12th, the Met announced that its 2021 gala would be held September 13, 2021. Ocasio received an invitation to the Met Gala in May 13th. The invitation said as follows. Anna Wintour would be thrilled to have you, AOC. Please come and join us. And Riley Roberts as guests. She accepted the invitation. Now, it's customary for fashion designers attending the Met Gala to dress the gala attendees. Accordingly, shortly after she accepted the invitation, Vogue contacted her and they started working together. AOC told the OCE that she retained counsel. She said, I got a lawyer for this. It's really high profile, and I wanted to make sure I complied with the ethical rules. Campaign staffer echoed those same sentiments, noting that counsel was hired in advance of this non-traditional event to ensure that all Met Gala decisions were met with accordable and applicable ethics requirements. Sounds good. Staffer explained that she worked with counsel and AOC to address compliance-related concerns involving attire. Documents produced by AOC evidence her team working through some of these compliance-related concerns. So AOC then told this committee that a determination was made in advance of the gala that she would be personally paying for the attire that she received. Right? Not going to use campaign funds, not going to use official funds. Seems reasonable. Then on September 13th, she went to the event. She also took part in a Vogue video, which documented her getting ready for the event, where she was putting on that stupid dress. Now, she also got rental goods and services in addition to the video, right? So they got her transportation. We'll send you a car. Access a ready room at the Carlisle Hotel, hair and makeup services, a dress, handbag, shoes, jewelry from Brother Velli's, whatever that is, and transportation to the gala. And it's a nice evening, man. She had a good time. She got pampered up. Brother Velli's also got her person friend, Riley Roberts, a pair of shoes and a bow tie. Now, the day after the gala, Ocasio got significant press coverage regarding her attendance because of the dress. And much of the coverage focused on the extent to which her attendance and attire were permissible under the House rules. So in the wake of this, the campaign director for Director of Advice and Education contacted AOC's staff about her attendance. And ultimately, they emailed her about it on the 16th. So they said, hey, AOC, we are contacting you not because we have any questions. Instead, we just are proactively checking to see if you had any questions about any of the ethics rules. Interesting. Okay. So they reached out to her and they said, hey, we see you are in the middle of something right now. Do you have any questions about the rules? If you do have questions about the rules, let us know. We'll help you clarify them so you can paper all this up. Like, you got to pay for some of this stuff. This is something we commonly do, particularly when there's been a high profile matter and we don't have a record of getting guidance, right? And that's interesting. Yeah. So for example, when I have an issue with a legal matter, like an ethical issue, I have a phone number that I can call at the state bar. I can say, hey, we've got this ethical problem. I'm leaving my law firm. In fact, we did this. I'm leaving my law firm. We're separating. Do we have to do anything special? They said, well, here's what you got to do. And we followed their advice. And that's part of the process. They've got no record of her calling. And so they say, we just want to make sure you're good. Do you know what you're doing? The committee's staff and director and chief counsel went on to explain the goal of the outreach. Yeah, it's just a brief informal phone call, just checking in. Any questions that you might have? Including whether they could ask about her attendance, including whether she could accept a free ticket for herself and her guest, whether she could receive a custom gown for the event, how to address the gifts that was accepted in contravention of the House rules. So the lawyer actually called her, in which the goal of the outreach was a brief informal phone call where they could discuss those things. Actually, they sent an email. Outreach, it looks like it was an email. So the committee's staff director concluded his email to the lawyer by explaining that a phone call would be voluntary and just trying to help. Often these kinds of phone calls are quicker and and I've had these phone calls. I've had the state bar call me and say, hey, this client called. He's saying that you did this thing. And I say, nope, definitely didn't do that thing. And they say, oh, do you have any evidence of that? I say, yeah, tons of evidence of that. And they say, well, you mind sending me a quick email or just tell me what you did? I say, yeah, this is what I did. I was in court. It was this morning. They say, judge there? It was all there. Okay, sounds good. I'll deal with this on my own. You need me to send you a follow-up? Nope, don't need you to send anything. They call the person back and they say, look, you're mistaken. That's not, how it went, or, if you have whatever. They clarify it because sometimes people don't know, that they can't complain about being found guilty, right? I got found guilty of something. I'm going to file a complaint against my lawyer. Did he do anything wrong? No. Okay, well, you can't file a complaint against that then. So they call, anything happened? Nope, everything's fine. And they just make it go away. They did the same thing with AOC, but apparently she didn't really respond. Instead, the lawyer responded to this email in writing and outlined the reasons why he believed her attendance and receipt of certain services were permissible under the House rules. Wow. Okay. So her lawyer told the committee, basically the people who enforce the rules, what the rules are. Not a good idea. In this case, the situation was straightforward, says the lawyer. The Congresswoman accepted complimentary attendance at this event, which was a fundraiser for a charity, 501c3. The invitation was extended directly by the sponsor, which was the Met. The Congresswoman was offered a guest ticket. Longtime partner, friend joined her as well. Apart from the ticket, the meals, the beverages, the Congresswoman is paying personally for all other benefits, including the rental value of her dress, handbag, accessories, and others. Congresswoman also paying for hair, makeup, transportation, and the other things. If the committee staff has additional questions, we'd be happy to provide information. Okay, sounds good. As evidenced above, AOC's counsel emphasized, 1, he believed her and her partner's attendance as a permissible exception to the House rules, and 2, that she would be personally paying for those things. She was aware that her lawyer was talking with the committee. All right. But then, Rep. AOC told the OCE that while she would pay for the services with personal funds, the campaign staffer was tasked with making the actual payments. Uh-oh. As discussed in more detail below, while the services identified have been paid for, AOC neglected to pay for these services until after we opened the review. Thus, despite various efforts to address compliance concerns in advance of the gala through the lawyers, and despite representations to the committee about compliance with the rules, it appears that several $1,000s worth of services may have remained unpaid absent the OCE initiating this review. Below, we identify the goods and services and how payment was made. And they go through all of them. Hair services. All right, let's see what she got. Oh, stylist number 1 did her hair September 13th in preparation for the Met Gala. Condé Nast paid for that. September 21st, Condé Nast advised the agency representing the stylist that a campaign staffer would pay the bill. They have an email about that. Just talk to John over at the campaign. He'll pay for it. Streeters provided the campaign staffer with a $477 bill. Whew! Man, that's an expensive haircut, man. I don't care who you are. Between September 30th and February 24th, the bill for hair services went unpaid. Rude. During this time, Streeter's accounts in the receivable department made repeated attempts to secure payment. Holy crap, culminating in a February 23rd email threatening to file a complaint with the labor policy against AOC for not payment. Man, she wasn't going to pay her bills either. Unbelievable. If it wasn't deposited before the end of business tomorrow, they said, we're going to file a complaint against you. Now, 2 days after the OCE first contacted AOC about this review, then the staffer, 2 days after OCE contacted her, AOC's like, where the hell is John? He didn't pay for that hair? So he's like, crap. He gets on the phone. He's like, here's my credit card number. Can you take it over the phone, please? When interviewed, campaign staffer did not provide the OCE with a clear explanation for these delays, aside for acknowledging that it fell off her radar, as she often received emails from streeters and she couldn't focus on their payment requests. Staffer told OCE, oh man, so that poor staffer is probably getting obliterated by AOC right now. Probably not going to be on her team much longer. AOC would periodically follow up with her about needing to pay for these services, but AOC was not aware at the time that the company was making escalating demands. She also had makeup services coordinated by the same people. Let's see what that costs. $344 on that one. It does not appear this was provided as the Wall Group attempted unsuccessfully to have that bill paid. Condé Nast rejected that payment request. And the campaign staffer didn't pay for that either. Holy crap. All right, so the Wall Group collections team made repeated attempts to secure payment from a campaign staffer, noting on multiple occasions that the invoice was extremely overdue, capitalized. Campaign staffer initially attempted to pay the outstanding bill 2 days after the OCE contacted them. finally made the payment March 16th. When interviewed, how often are they doing this, right? How often is this happening? When interviewed, campaign staffer did not provide the OCE with a clear explanation either. Now, the handbags were rentals, later returned. Others declined to cooperate. Here's a total summation of all the bills. $2,200. $1,300 rental for a rental of a handbag is $1,300. A gown rental is $1,300. Oh my goodness. A handbag rental is $170. And a ribbon pump shoe, $635. Another $900 for some more gear. Campaign staffer could not explain why the gown rental costs were reduced from $1,300 to $300. Oh, wow. So they're adjusting prices too. When asked about billing revisions, yeah, because there are 2 billing revisions here. September 19th, look at this bill. Look at this, $1,300 here, but down here, it's only $300. That's weird. Why would they do that? Why would $635 go down to $160? Who knows? Why? She understood that the shoes would be rentals and flagged it. Accordingly, there were general discussions about the bill. Okay, so AOC was angry about the bill, right? She's like, I don't want to pay that. That's nuts. So she told him to go back and negotiate the bill down. Prior to the Met Gala, she had discussions. Final bill would be about $1,000. So the bill was too high. They went back and negotiated it. Declined to cooperate with the interview. As of March 2022, $1,000 owed to brother Velli's, still unpaid. Campaign staffer couldn't explain it. When asked about the extent to which AOC was aware this payment was not made, she said that AOC knew that the payments were not made since they had not been put on her credit card or withdrawn from her account, right? If these are personal funds, she's not seeing them come out. She said, I wasn't providing AOC with a regular status on that. That's her personal stuff. And then AOC was waiting to hear back from Jana on the updated invoice because she didn't want to pay all that money. So after the OCE opened the review, the lawyer for AOC contacted and they identified $5,500 worth of unpaid goods. Here's what they summed up. A room 1121 at the Carlisle Hotel, $1,200, $1,200. They upgraded to a better room. Oh my goodness. Our clients are in receipt of your request for an invoice. These two, AOC and Riley Roberts, they came in and they stayed at our properties and they didn't pay for anything. The first 2 nights they were in room 1122. Those were $1,200 a night, but they didn't like that room. So on the 3rd night they upgraded to 911 room, interestingly, and that room was $2,100 a night, probably a suite. Shoes for Roberts, $136. A bow tie, $270. Total $5,500. There was also round trip transportation for $180. They asked AOC, hey, AOC, you want to manage the federal government and spend money hand over fist that isn't yours. Why are you doing it here in your own personal life too? When asked about the delays in payments for the variety of goods and services, AOC acknowledged that there was a ball that was dropped. The situation is, quote, deeply regrettable. The next dress she wears should say, pay your bills. That would be a good one. AOC recalled following up with campaign staffer several times after the Met Gala about the need to pay for the services. They told her she was in a holding pattern. She said, I'm not really privy to the details about how payment was supposed to be structured. And I just learned about the extent of the non-payment recently. Right. So the board says, we don't believe her on anything. We find that there is substantial reason to believe that AOC accepted impermissible gifts at the gala. And based on the foregoing, we believe that there is substantial reason that they were associated with the Met Gala. We recommend the committee further review the above allegation about her attendance. And we say these people did not cooperate And the board recommends that the Committee on Ethics issue subpoenas. Yes, issue the subpoenas to Aurora James and to Brother Veles and to Jana Pia. All in on the Met Gala grift. AOC. Unbelievable. Won't even pay her stinking bills. And she wants the whole government to pay for, I guess, everybody's bills because she doesn't really care about money. It's not hers. Somebody else will pay for it. Kind of a standard theme for them. So, all right. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they do continue to investigate this. This is a catastrophe in American government, and I hope we get to the bottom of it. I demand action, impeachment, and arrest. Fast trials. All right. So that, my friends, is the AOC saga. Of course, we'll decide whether to continue to cover it or not. We'll see. I hope you join us regardless. Thank you for subscribing and liking this video wherever it is you're watching it, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.